Hey there guys, in this tutorial I want to continue on with the topic of insurance. In the previous video we looked at what insurance is and how it basically works. In this video we're going to look at the 5 main types of insurance, and I'm also going to take you through the 4 elements of a standard insurance policy. So a policy is simply just an agreement between you and the insurance company. But let's have a look at the 5 main types of insurance. First one there is travel. Now, travel insurance is super important whenever you are traveling. Of course, it's exciting because when you're traveling, you're having fun. So we need to know about travel insurance, and hopefully you're going to have to use it a lot. In fact, it's so important that I've got a whole nother video down below talking about what travel insurance actually is in detail. But just to give you a summary, travel insurance will cover you if, let's just say, you're sick, injured, or something comes up and you're unable to get on your trip to start with. It will cover you if you're sick or injured while you're on your trip. It will cover you if your luggage gets lost and those sorts of things, or if your accommodation gets cancelled or something happens like that. Travel insurance will replace the cost of those things happening. Now, there's still inconveniences, unfortunately, but travel insurance at least will reimburse you financially for that. Then we've got car insurance. Car insurance, now this is really important because no doubt if you're not already, you're going to be driving very soon, and the chances are at some point in your years of driving ahead of you, you're going to have a bingle. And if you have a bingle, it can be quite expensive to fix a car. It might even be that there needs to be some rehabilitation for people who got injured in that accident. And they're the sorts of things that car insurance will cover you for replacing the car, fixing the car, and fixing people. Then we've got property insurance. This is super important because if something happens to your home, let's say you own your own home, the property insurance will cover you if there's a fire, if there's a flood, if you get hit by a meteorite. All those sorts of things will actually cover the cost of repairing a house, even replacing a house if that's what's necessary. Included in the property insurance, but also if you don't own your own home, you're renting, is a thing called contents insurance, which replaces all the stuff within your house. Or let's just say you got struck by lightning, and this has happened to a friend of ours. Their house got struck by lightning. The house itself was okay, but all their electrical goods got absolutely fried. So their TV, the stereo, all the white goods, all of it got fried, and so they had to get it replaced. And in fact, do you know what? They actually got struck by lightning a second time about 6 months later, and it all got replaced for a second time as well. But that's what your property insurance is for. Then we've got life insurance. Now, this is a much more serious one. Life insurance is if something happens to you as a person. Let's just say that you're injured and you're unable to work, or you're sick and you're unable to work, or let's say you get diagnosed with some sort of nasty disease, or if you die. Life insurance will pay out a certain amount of money to help you recover. Obviously not recover from death, because there's no recovery from that, but from any sicknesses, injuries, those sorts of things. And if you were to die, it pays out in a lump of money to your loved ones so that they can cover your cost of your funeral, any debts that are owed, the mortgage, those sorts of things. That is what life insurance is for. And then the last one, if you get into business yourself, is business insurance. And there's all sorts of insurances that you need if you go into business to protect yourself and protect the people that are buying your products and so on. But you need to have business insurance as well. So there's 5 types of insurance. Travel insurance, car insurance, and life insurance I cover in more detail in videos later in this module. So make sure you have a good look at those. I would say especially, given you are going to be driving soon and hopefully you are going to be traveling, make sure you have a look at the travel insurance and the car insurance. Okay, let's quickly look at the typical type things you would see in a policy now. So when you make an agreement with the insurance company, they're basically going to tell you what is actually being insured. So, for instance, in travel insurance, they'll say, oh, look, it's your luggage, we're protecting your health, we're protecting, if your accommodations get cancelled or something happens with them, travel insurance will jump in and cover you for that. If it's car insurance, of course, they're going to cover the car and people within the car. Then we've got what risks are being insured against. So this means that you know what's actually being covered, but what are they going to cover you against? So, for instance, if you're in a car accident, they're going to protect you against car accidents. But of course, they're also going to protect against things like hailstorms or really damaging winds that somehow damage your car. So it's spelt out in the policy exactly what risks you're being insured against. And you've got to be really careful with this, because sometimes they try and leave out a lot of things to keep the policy cheaper, and they're the exact things that you need to have in there. So it's important that you understand what risk you're being insured against. And then it's going to tell you how much you're covered for. So when you put insurance on a house, you've got to figure out, okay, well, if something happened to the house, we would need to clear the block. Let's say a big fire went through, we would need to clear the block completely, and then we would need to completely replace the house. We need to replace all of the landscaping around the house and all the fixtures and fittings within the house. So you come up with a number, and that number might be, say, hey, $500,000 or $1 million. But it's spelled out in the policy how much you're actually covered for. And then, based on that, based on what's being covered, what risk you're being insured against, based on the amount of cover they're going to cover you for, they will then come up with a premium that you have to pay on a monthly basis. So it's the amount of money you have to pay every month, so that if something happens, you're covered. So there we go, guys. The 5 main types of insurance. As always, if you've got any questions, please get in touch. But it's really important you go down and at least have a look at the travel insurance and the car insurance tutorials below, because they're very relevant to you.